Hello everyone, hope you're doing good. Wanted to show you a couple of experiments with the fisheye lens that will help us understand if it should be destroyed and villainized for proving the globe and keeping that deception alive, or if it should be to blame for the flat earth movement and making us believe the earth isn't a spinning sphere flying through space. So either way, we need to draw our own conclusions, look at the evidence, do your own experiments. Don't take our word for it. I could be photoshopping things and lying to you. So do your own experiments, please. And if you're going to comment, please take a deep breath before you comment. I am not against you. If you believe in the globe, God still loves you. If you believe that the earth is not a spinning sphere, God loves you too. Okay? You just need to make sure you're not believing things based on what others have told you or because you saw it on the internet or in a book, but really be unbiased here, because there could be a lot of deception going on. The world may not be as cozy of a place as we thought. So keep your eyes open, stay awake. But let's look at some images real quick, because it's really important that we see the earth from really high up and see what it looks like when using a fisheye lens. And as you can see here, this is 73 miles up, the Go Fast rocket launch, and when it smacked into something, maybe it was gravity that it hit, okay, I don't know, but it smacked into something at about 73 miles, came to a complete instant stop, and you saw the horizon from this camera, and it was flat, okay, perfectly flat, almost a little concave almost, but pretty flat from that high up. So it could be the fisheye lens to blame. Not saying the earth is flat because of this one picture, even though it does appear to be flat from that height. Now here is what astronaut cameras see. This is the title of the video. I didn't type this on here. While working on the International Space Station. And they were using a camera, and the camera moved, and when it did, I paused it because the earth became flat again. I was so happy. But the earth became flat. Now, is it the fisheye lens to blame? Who knows? We may find out. These experiments may change your life forever and history as we know it. Okay, but here's the curve again. It came back, thank goodness. Sigh of relief. And then, one particular day, the Earth's curvature was really bad, and the fisheye lens caused it to really morph into almost showing us half the Earth from the ISS, which would be impossible if you know the scale of the Earth compared to where the ISS actually is. Pretty much impossible. Now, here's the Falcon Heavy test flight. And this, if you pause the video, and people are on here like crazy, flat earthers watching these videos going, look, it's flat, stop it at whatever minute mark and you'll see. And they're not lying. It does become concave, it does become convex, and then flat, over and over and over, and it changes. That's what happens with a fisheye lens. People can tell you that, experts can tell you that. You know, you can get a straight line here to compare and see. Your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. It is convex, and this is something falling to Earth from space right here. Several different videos. I haven't photoshopped these in any way, but you can put lines against the horizon here on many different space videos, and that line here is as straight as it can get, that horizon line from space. And in the same video, seconds later, you have a spherical Earth again. And again. Okay, I'm not just taking flat Earth pictures. I'm being fair to both sides here. Be patient with me. And now here you see one curve. This is from the ISS. But look at this. This little line here is slightly curved. It's definitely a fisheye lens. But I want to show you a really cool experiment I came across a long time ago. I can't believe this hasn't taken off. But it's from a channel called CrowXE, and I asked him a while back if I could use this video and break it down. I'm not going to make fun of the video in any way, because it's actually a really, really legit experiment. So I wanted to share the video with you, and make sure, double check before I upload this to the whole world that I have full permission to share this channel and video information. He seems pretty cool and is very unbiased in his research. Okay, he's not out to prove flat Earth in this video at all. just showing you how the fisheye lens works and giving you some insight using some straight lines of how it bends them at different angles. Really good experiment, and I was going to do this myself, but I came across this, and I'm going to add to it just a little bit and go outside and do some different things and see what I can come up with myself. But watch this video and let us know what you think about it. But pay attention and try to understand what he's saying, because it will show you with perfectly straight lines moving the camera around, similar to how you would if it was attached to a rocket or hanging from a high altitude balloon, because we're seeing a lot of balloon launches lately, and those are showing you a real good example of how the fisheye lens will change Earth's curvature. Okay, so pay attention, really good video, and then we'll follow up with some more experiments.
Hello. So this is the question: if the GoPro cam is guilty or innocent. Because some people can create a curve out of flat earth, and some others can create a flat earth out of a curve. So here is something to just to sort this issue once and for all, and I hope one day I don't see that nonsense of people saying that GoPro cam or fisheye camera cannot be used as a proof for showing curvature or flatness. I bought the fisheye camera and I made a cross on the screen, as you'll see now. So this yellow cross I made, it's two straight lines perpendicular to each other's, and the red lines that I made, as you can see, it's going from the corner to the other corner, just to prove that where is the center of the view of this camera. So we'll proceed. As you see, they are straight lines. Sorry for the focus. As we go up, we notice that the straight line was becoming curved downward. Let me pause here. Just when we start moving down, we start to get a fake curve upward. Notice that the vertical line is still straight until we start tilting or panning to the right or left. I paused again just to confirm there are two straight lines perpendicular to each other. So the key point is, if the camera is pointed in the middle of the line that we want to make sure if it's curved or straight, then we'll get the right answer. Here is another photo. As you see, it is straight, but the camera is not pointing at the line that we want to inspect. As we pan down, yes, right now, this is the truth of this line that you're seeing. I'm not saying the earth is curved or ball or flat, just an example to display. Now, I'll go extreme. Now it's flat. If I go more, it's concaved. And this is what we see in GoPro camera that's hanging in weather balloons. We'll see fluctuation between very steep curve like this you're seeing now, slight curve, flat, and concave.
Now, I really hope that video gives you a good explanation of how a fisheye lens works if you have never used one or you just aren't too familiar with how they change a straight line compared to how they can change a curved line, because I believe this is one of the main keys to letting us know what the Earth's surface really looks like, and is it curved or is it flat, and how does a fisheye lens impact a curved surface compared to how it impacts a flat surface And can we repeat that on a smaller scale? We should be able to. And I wanted to do some experiments. They aren't the best. Maybe you can do better and send them our way. That would be awesome. I'd appreciate that. Okay? Don't be mean right away. Just say, hey, look, your research was horrible. Your experiments were horrible. Here is what I've done. I'm far superior to you. But examining this footage real quick, you have this horizon that was curved. He was showing us by using the cross or the X in the middle of the screen. It shows you the center point of the camera. And the center point of the camera lens is somewhere up high, which makes this become more concave. And I thought it wasn't perfectly concave like the footage I'd seen before, so I drew a line straight across, and it was in fact concave. He wasn't making that up or being biased in any way. In the center of the horizon, it is somewhat concave. The only thing I noticed that was slightly different was the edges seem to almost start to curve. It's not a perfectly concave image, similar to what we've seen here in space footage when the craft was falling back to Earth, and that was literally the title of the video here that I took this from. And I'm going to show you this video in just a second so you can see firsthand how it changes many times, and it's quite impressive. It's really good footage actually, and I believe it's from SpaceX. So we're going to look at that real quick because that's the footage I was trying to duplicate on a smaller scale, trying to see if a curved surface would give me this type of footage or if a flat surface would give me this type of footage with similar movements, because from this camera angle all they're doing is having this camera spin around and show you the blackness of space and then show you Earth, and then the blackness of space and then Earth. So it does that over and over, and you can see how it changes. So something we should be able to repeat and find out if the Earth is in fact as curved as they say it is, or pear-shaped, or whatever shape, we don't know. So let's go and look at this real quick. So here it is. It's called Falling Back to Earth HD Footage from Space, and it has almost 4 million views, and it is from SpaceX, and it's really cool. You can see some things in here. I want to point out a couple things, but here is the horizon. You can see from the start, somewhat flat. This is the video I got those screenshots from, and I thought this kind of looks like the moon or something. Really not sure if that's the moon or not. But you can see it. Here's the horizon becoming perfectly convex, and as CrowXE pointed out, I would guess the center of the frame somewhere over here above the horizon, which with a flat line would make it concave. That's the word I'm looking for. And if it's below it, it would make it convex. So there it is, still concave. Looking at these two objects here, not sure, moon, stars, planets. Definitely not the sun yet. The sun comes out in just a second. Really bright over here. There's the sun. But look at that. Watch the Earth change. It's changing into a spherical looking object. It wasn't spherical a second ago. Now it looks like a sphere. And that sphere is going to change. You can see how the fisheye lens does that. You can do this from just above the ocean, okay, if you wanted to with a fisheye lens. So it's a really cool morphing image of Earth. There it is again, becoming more concave as the camera is rolling away. And this is what I was trying to duplicate in the videos I'm about to show you, with a curved surface, with a flat horizon, and doing this different surfaces, larger surfaces, smaller, and trying to get exactly what I see here. Because if Earth is as round as they say it is, I should be able to do this with a curved object and have the exact same look, okay, or the exact same imagery. So we'll see in just a second if the Earth is flat or round. History will be made. You just have to be patient. So this is really cool. So you can see stars and the sun at the same time. Didn't think that was possible. There you go. There's that horizon line. Probably going to change shape. Okay. Starting to become flat again. we'll see. Concave. Really cool. And you can watch this footage yourself. You may have already seen it. I just thought it was quite impressive how you can see stars or the moon way off into the distance, or whatever that is. But here you go again. As it slips below the middle of the screen, it becomes really round. And then when you get pictures of Earth from really high up, this is usually what you see right here. And to me, this kind of looks pear-shaped, so I can see where Neil deGrasse Tyson was getting that. Not perfectly spherical, kind of curves more over here and gives us the oblate spheroid look. So maybe he just watched this footage and kind of has his new perspective on how Earth looks. This is what happens when stardust gets together, forms water, lots of water, and it sticks to a spinning pear. It makes humans like us and billions of species. So there you have it. Curvature of Earth. Is it concave? Is it convex? Is it flat? Huge debate right now, and never thought it would be. I always thought it was round and we had good pictures of it. Here I am doing experiments to see if it is in fact round or not. I really don't think it's round. I really believe it's stationary. So I'm not going to be biased with my results. I'm going to go over them accordingly. So let's take a look at the footage I have and we'll compare it to this. Okay, so here is the horizon outside my house. Nothing fancy. Little ridge line over here. And it's not perfectly flat. There's some bumps and all that. But you'll get to see, you can do this yourself. If you have if you live somewhere where the earth is more flat than it is over here, you could do a better job probably. But this is the horizon I had to work with. And just took my camera, my GoPro, it's a GoPro, and waved it up and down, back and forth. So you can kind of see some changes here. And this matches the high altitude balloon footage that we've seen, and from many different heights, and pretty much matches the footage we just watched from the falling back to space video, or falling back to Earth video. And you can do this yourself with a fisheye lens. Nothing new that I've invented here. No groundbreaking work just yet. Just showing you what that looks like. And you saw this in the Crow XE video. So I wanted to try this with a curved surface. So here is a little curved object that I found. Wait just one second. So this is the circular object I found. I didn't have a chance to go out and buy a giant globe. They weren't on sale at my local Walmart. So I have a pop tent that's somewhat circular. Fold it up, put it in this bag. It's pretty impressive. And it's quite large. Probably the largest circle I had access to. So I wanted to get real close to it with the GoPro, move it up and down and pretend it was Earth from space and see what I could get. And I was actually surprised at how flat the horizon could become on this thing just by simply moving around the GoPro. And I'll try to pause it and let you see as it gets higher and lower. So right here you can see pretty flat and almost concave, and then of course kind of rounded on the edges like we saw with the Crow XE video. Comes round again. Now I'm below the horizon, which really isn't possible in space. There you go. Really convex. Whoop. There you go. Pretty flat. Surprisingly flat. But again, on the edges it's still rounded. And it kind of goes flat towards the top. The edges are remaining rounded, which to me is a big deal, because we should be able to copy exactly what we see. And I know I'm not to scale and really close to it. I'd have to use a way bigger line, and I'm going to do that here in just a minute. So here you go. Just comparing, contrasting the changes that a fisheye lens can do with a circular curved object. Oops. Trying to pause it right on the mark before it goes out of the field of view of the camera. Still curved a little bit. Sorry, I didn't have a fancy tripod or anything. I was just holding this thing in my hand. It's a little bitty camera. Look at that. Again, getting some concave imagery here. Quite impressive. And but again, it's still curving on the outside here. It's not a perfect rainbow shape that we saw with the space footage, and that's what I'm trying to replicate or duplicate. Now, to be fair to the globe, I wanted to use another video as well, or another curved surface that was larger than the little pop tent that we just used. I know, that was kind of redneck. But here is a horizon on the other side behind my house that is curved. It's the curvature of the earth. No, I'm just kidding. It is a hill, and it's kind of curved like you would expect the earth to be from the ISS. Not a perfect curve, but again, it'll hopefully let us see if we can duplicate that change in curvature when you're dealing with a rather large curve, and see if we can reproduce what we've seen from the space footage. So I'm just going to move the camera, and you can see how it changes. And I'm going kind of extreme. Kind of flattens out, really curved, starting to go concave. Kind of looks almost flat there, but before it can go concave, it leaves the field of view of the camera. That was one of the things I kept running, one of the problems I kept running into, is before I could find that concave earth, it would leave the field of view of my camera. So kind of some bad luck with trying to prove that you can duplicate what you see with space footage. And this isn't even a huge curve, so it should have been easier. I was holding the camera probably about 10 feet above the ground. I was standing on a ladder. It looks like I'm really close to the ground, but I was standing up. You can see my shadow. There it is. Not really up. It's a ladder of some monkey bars you climb on. Kind of looking around so you can see, get a perspective where I'm at. There it is. So not standing at ground level, trying to be above the horizon. Not super easy to do, but was able to do that. And this is just one experiment. About to see another one where I use a curved line on my computer screen. Getting kind of desperate, trying to reproduce that same curve. So here's what it looks like. Let me get there real quick. So here's the curved line on a computer screen as seen with a GoPro camera. And I was trying to do this by staying above the horizon. And again, when I'm above the horizon, I was having the same problem of it disappearing out of the field of view before it can go concave, as seen in space footage. But I'm going to try to pause it so you can see. Whoop, there you go. Right there, how it kind of curves down on the edge of the field of view, even though it is almost somewhat concave in the middle. It is always going to curve downwards on the edge. And I think that is a really big deal, because this is what you're going to get when you do this experiment yourself. You're going to see that you do have some bit of a concave line in the middle, almost flat looking, but before it leaves the field of view of the camera, it is still curving downward on the edges. To me, with an unbiased look at this footage and comparing it to what we see from space, you would expect to have the exact same results. And I know this is small scale. Tried to use the largest scale I could with the hill behind my house, and then use this here. But a GoPro should bend a curved line in the opposite direction the same way every time. It's not doing that. Kind of sad. Kind of hoping I could go back to the globe again. No, I'm just kidding. The shape of the earth, you know, some people say it's not that big of a deal, but it's the deception that is kind of a big deal, because if they're lying about the shape of our earth and its movements and all of that, they're lying about a lot more, and they're going to deceive you again. So it's really important that we don't look at each other as enemies on the opposite side of the battlefield, we need to understand that there are some really interesting things to look into, kind of like this. Experiments you can do yourself. Again, this isn't state-of-the-art. I don't have some really high-tech equipment. I just have a GoPro camera and the same things you probably have access to. So you can do this yourself. I encourage you to try things yourself. Don't just believe what you've been told by faith, which is what it seems like we're doing. We're not. More people, I'm talking complete atheists, have come out, seen this stuff, went, oh my goodness, this is kind of making sense, done some experiments, and opened their minds and stopped believing by faith and started really looking at reality. And when you do that, you'll be shocked. The world that we live in is ran by some pretty evil people. They don't want you to know the truth. And I really believe that footage like this, where you can actually repeat these experiments, will show you the truth. And I thank a lot of you guys for doing your research, the people that believe in the earth or the globe. You all make some really, really good points. And CrowXE did a really good job of demonstrating how the GoPro lens works. And I just wanted to see if I could take what he did, match it up with some more footage from space and some little experiments I've done. Mine were not as good and simple as his, but similar results, and it all has to do with this little portion here on the edge where you can see that curve, and it doesn't match the curve that we see when we're looking at footage of space, like the footage here where you have that perfectly concave look from end to end. Does not start to curve back downwards like you can see when you do this yourself with a fisheye lens. Okay, so I'm not trying to be deceptive, and I really would hope that you guys will look into this, throw away your pitchforks and torches, and just take an unbiased look at it and look at the deception. We have compiled all of the deception you need to see. It should be enough to let you see you've been lied to, and the organizations you trust aren't as honest and straightforward as they have said they are. So before we close, I want to show you a couple more things, so bear with us. And take a look at this horizon. It's flat. Does that prove flat Earth? No. We're really close to the ground and really close to a large, if it was a sphere, a large sphere, and it would look flat from the surface. But if you had no way of ever going to the ocean, or maybe let's say you lived underground your entire life and you had no clue what the surface of our Earth looked like from really close up. I took a picture of the ocean from a fisheye lens, and I'm pretty sure if you gave me billions of dollars, I can bring you tons of footage that looks just like this of our Earth's surface from really close up and convince you that the Earth is a really small spherical object and that you're inside of it, of this hollow Earth. And that's what the surface looks like. You just have to believe me. And if I was the only one feeding you these images, I could make them look like this pretty much every time of the Earth. This is just the ocean with a fisheye lens. Okay? I think I'm probably going to get some calls from the NASA Blue Marble crew wanting me to give them some images of Earth. I've literally made these myself, and it's photoshopped because, as the artist himself says, it has to be Mr. Blue Marble. Okay? Again, not trying to make fun of anybody that believes in the globe, but to show you how easy it is to alter things and alter reality. Doesn't take a whole lot of money. It has taken a lot of money, but it doesn't require that much. It's pretty easy to do, and I can make you see the Earth the way I want you to see it if I'm the only one that can get to that height or has access to all that money, technology, Photoshop skills. I can make the Earth look like whatever I want it to look like and deceive you. And that's not why I'm here. I know a lot of you will think that I'm being deceptive. Please show me your work. Anybody who finds anything that's better, because I'm sure it's out there. I have a hard time finding footage when I try to look up, can a fisheye lens curve a curved line in the opposite direction? That's a huge... you type that in YouTube, YouTube's like, what? Who does that? So look, do your own experiments and be kind to each other. say that a lot, can't say it enough. Time is running out. Trying our best to figure out everything we can, and there's a lot of people who are kind of fighting the truth that's right before their eyes, and I think we should all come together and really be cohesive. Again, I want to thank CrowXE. He's been awesome allowing me to share this and work together with him and help figure this out, and he can come back and show me probably where I messed up, because I'm not a fisheye lens expert, not a photography expert or a Photoshop expert, as you can see here, even though I think this looks pretty good. But you guys, I hope you're doing good. I hope everything's going great for you. Sorry it's been so long since we posted a video. We'll try to come back soon. I want to introduce my brother. There are two of us, and his new channel. We're not breaking up or anything, and I have been putting off getting us together and actually introducing the two of us. And I've mentioned him a couple times in other videos, and started this channel with hopes that we would get together and do more videos together, but we usually just collaborate and then I put the videos together as I'm doing now. But he's really more of the biblical scholar, so you'll get to see some of his work pretty soon. If you've followed our channel, one of the teachings we put out was his. It was his voice and his teaching. So we just decided to start a new channel for him where he puts out his teachings, and you can go there if that's sort of the thing you're into. And we will probably do some similar videos to what he does, but wanted to separate that because we're two different people, and his teachings are pretty groundbreaking, to say the least. So we're going to introduce that channel and him one-on-one here pretty soon. So thanks for tuning in. I know this was kind of lengthy, but it needs to be, and you need to see more than one perspective of your reality. So thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves. God bless.